was born and raised in Winona, Texas. My father managed a ranch in Winona, and then when that ranch sold, we moved. But I've always lived there with my mom and my dad, and family is very important to me. We've always been very close. The reason I'm a teacher is actually because in the 8th grade, I had an American history teacher. His name was Coach Gann. He made American history fun. He showed that he truly cared about his students. He went out of his way to show that he cared. And so I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. And about the 10th grade, I got in the FFA in Winona, and I decided that I wanted to be an ag teacher. I was in the Winona FFA for 3 years. It was a very big part of my life. Once I got into it, I just got rolling. I got involved in everything I could. But I was in basically everything in high school, everything we offered. I was in the National Honor Society. I was in the marching band. I was an area level trombone player. I played sports for a little bit. I ran cross country. Even though FFA was my biggest priority, I definitely was involved in everything, and I carried on with it through college, and I was actually in the Tarleton State University marching band. About a year after I got my driver's license, I went to a concert at the Gladewater Rodeo with my best friend, and we were driving back. It was a 2-lane highway, and there were actually 2 drivers that I think were racing, or they were drunk driving or something, and there were actually 2 cars coming towards me, and so we kind of dodged a little bit, and then he sideswiped me on my passenger side and actually tore up the whole right side of my car. But the scariest part is it was on my friend's side. That was the scariest thing for me. My father, he actually has PTSD, and it really hasn't been diagnosed until recently. And he's had several problems from the Army. He's almost deaf. He's got back problems. He's had to have some facial reconstruction just due to wounds. My grandfather actually just passed away about 2 months ago, and he had a lot of heart problems. Both my father and my grandfather served in Vietnam, so we think a lot of those problems came from like the Agent Orange from the Vietnam War. My dad's probably had PTSD as long as I can remember, and then the heart problems, I mean, that's been since they were young.
Yeah.
So a long time. Yeah, my dad was actually an Army Ranger, and so in Vietnam, I mean, he got to see some crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. Vietnam was a tough war. He's been through it all, so I really respect him. My family's actually 3 generations of Army: my grandfather, my father, and my brother. 2 of my brothers, actually. My older brother, John, is actually already retired from the Army, but my brother's a pilot right now, and he's got a pretty cool job. Right now, he flies helicopters and sometimes fixed-wing aircrafts, and he's what they call a VIP pilot. So he is stationed in Germany, and he takes generals and important officers, and he flies them from country to country to their meetings. He didn't get to do this, but he told me that whoever plays Captain America and the Black Widow from the Avengers, those actors actually came to Germany, and he was going to pick them up. They ended up giving it to another guy in his unit, but we thought that would be really cool if he could do that. So he gets to see important people like all the time. When I first got into FFA, I started doing the public speaking, and there's actually a horse judging contest, so I fell in love with that immediately. But actually, the best part of it for me was I really liked my teachers. All of my friends were in FFA, and there were a whole bunch of diverse opportunities within the organization that I didn't know. I didn't want to be an ag my freshman year of high school, and then the next year I had an empty class and there was nowhere I could go but ag, so I had to suck it up, and then I actually ended up liking it. It was a good decision, but definitely the background on the farm really helped push me into it, even if I was a little late.